Hello, this is sort of a fireside chat since it's getting to be the Christmas season and the holiday season and certainly soon a new year. And I didn't have time to do the interview in the studio. I decided to bring it home here from Forest, where I live, to give a final little chat for this year's Hybird catalogue. Let me say that in regards to training, one of the last observations I wanted to give this year was that I think it's important to train as an animal and not necessarily always as a dancer. No, not always as a proud sort of dignified, noble, occidental sort of pompous style of projecting ourselves into space and opening up our breasts and ourselves to Louis XIV and the whole stadium and the theater. I believe that it's very useful today, and it's also useful as a person, it's useful as a performer to be able to be very animalistic and to be using the front of the body and the muscles of the triceps and the chest and the abdominals and the legs and the feet, kind of like if you were well, one way I would work on this would be to do a lot of stuff on the floor, on the dance floor, with only the hands and the feet in contact with the floor. The knees are close to the floor, so you're kind of like an animal, like a panther running around sideways or front and back, and you try to keep the waist, the pelvis, the butt down. You don't want to bring it up in order to relax a bit, because it's hard to do. The body works very hard, the abdominals work very, very strong, the back as well, in order to hold that all together, because we have for many generations, of course, have gone up on two legs, and so it's not the most efficient way of moving being on four. However, it's incredibly strengthening and incredibly empowering for any kind of floor work. You're going in and out of the floor, but also strengthening the entire body, the whole front of the body. And I believe that this increases some of our animalistic power. I believe that's important counterbalance to some of the origins and traditions of the Occidental technique that we have, most of us, learned and been formed by. One other observation I would like to give, one thing I think is good to do, if you're a professional dancer and you're working all the time on dance, one way to preserve yourself and to balance yourself out as a dancer, physically, and probably also mentally, is to have another physical practice to the side. In other words, not to be just a dancer and then just like, chill out and do other things intellectual or something, but it's good to have another physical practice that's intense, that's important, that's rigorous, but that's to the side, that has nothing to do with dance. If you're doing any practice, whether it be football or swimming or dancing, and you're doing it intensively as much as we are, from 2 to 8 hours a day, all our lives, you get repetitive use exercises. Repetitive use injuries. The same stresses are put on the knee joints all the time because we do the same kind of moving all the time, or at least a certain range of moving. The ankles get they get taxed in the same way. Pushed on. The articulations suffer a great deal, tendons, everything. Because it's all this many times repetitive in the same way, over and over and over, years after year. Well, to balance that out, to use other muscle groups and other muscular chains and other motivations to move in different ways, I believe it's really useful to have another practice to the side that has nothing to do with our major activity. That might be riding a bicycle to and from work each day. That might be playing badminton if you're a dancer. That might be swimming. Might be running. But it's another activity that really is consequent. So that it's not just for 5 minutes, but it's something that really, really works you. But everything works in a whole different way. And the fact that it's a whole different movement pattern has nothing to do with this one, in my opinion, really counterbalances some of the destructive aspects of doing the same kind of activity for so much time and for so many years. That's my opinion. And the opinion of some kinesiologists and some kinesiotherapists and some osteopaths who I've spoken with. The last thing I want to do is thank you all for tuning in, looking at all of the different combinations, exercises, and interviews in the 2007 Hybrid Dance Class Catalog. Very happy about that you're checking it out, that you find things of interest. I hope it's of interest and service to you all. I hope you can get things that are interesting and that you can use. I hope you appreciate the quality of some of the work that's been going on here. And I hope that you'll come, and if you're in Brussels, you'll come by and see us in the Studio Hybird on Rue de l'Intendant in Molenbeek. Classes will begin next year on the 11th of February, and they'll go on for 3 weeks, and there'll be a break for 1 week, and they'll do 3 weeks more. Then there'll be a break, and there'll be three more weeks. There'll equally be classes in the evening with the Access syllabus system developed by Frey Faust, taught by Beres Mihik. Sorry about that last word, but Beres teaches very well. That'll be in the evenings in the studio. So classes in the morning and classes in the evening. There'll be some weekend workshops too with contact and some other things starting next year. We'll do the catalog again, so you'll find us also on YouTube. I'll try to migrate some of this material over to our website as soon as we can get that worked out. In the meantime, it'll be on YouTube, and we just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and Happy Holidays, and invite you to come and join us next year for more of the same. Right. Okay. See you in 2008. Bye.